Hey, welcome to my spiritual journal with me, with your soul sister, Iona Mead. So if you don't have a journal, grab a journal and you can journal along with me for this episode. I believe it might be day 58. I don't know. I didn't actually pay attention. It's Health Freedom Tuesday in my world. And on the Soul Legacy TV, I interview spiritual, do you know what? I just got a text message. Good morning, Robin. I'm going to start off differently rather than going into the blue. I just got a text message from my soul daughter saying that she wants to come home. And I messaged my daughter and she said, home is home. And it's health freedom. And I'm like, I've been in my flow and all of the rest of it. Like, she's grown. And I'm just like, okay, this environment, healthy environment, all the things. I'm like, I want to keep it and make sure it's a healthy environment, and it's a healthy environment for her and a healthy environment for me. And it just threw me. And I just wanted to just out that because it's going to be on my mind and in my body and all the rest of it. If you don't know me, don't know that I've got a soul daughter, don't know that I've got a daughter, I had to say it because it's on my mind. Let me do the intro to this episode because it matters. Okay. Soul Legacy Journal, spiritual journaling. I'm going to journal out that. We talk about health freedom on a Tuesday on the Soul Legacy TV. And I talk about spiritual awakening. So scratch the normal intro. If you don't know me, look up the Soul Legacy Academy. It's Health Freedom Tuesdays. I'm like, really? So good morning, Robin. Robin knows the story. Robin is our lead soul guided instructor for the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network and the Soul Legacy Academy. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I haven't done my notes for the journal today. I've just pulled a card for today. I'm just going to start with that. How about that? I haven't read out the card, so I'm just going to do that. So it's just probably going to be a short live. I don't know. I listened to the book called You Can Heal Your Life today. Thought I was prepped and prepared. It's day 2 of Bank 50K in 50 days. Today has been amazing. I've recorded the process of it. So my spiritual journal is kind of an active journal, but I'm going to read this card because it's going to give me some energy and hopefully it'll kind of distract me. So this is a card by, I can't say this, Cernunnos. I don't know. You probably know what the card is called. You pronounce it. Here you go. Whatever that is, it's called Life Force. So express your driving passion, sensual and sexual powers are increased. Can I get an amen? Healthy. We want to talk about health in terms of all the health. So emotional health, mental health, sexual health, spiritual health, social health, environmental health, all the things. And so obviously that's going to give us some life force for Health Freedom Tuesdays. All right. So it says it's pronounced Cernunnos, right? Got it. Also known as Hern, or Herny, maybe, is a Celtic stag god who presents connection to the earth. He is one of the eldest recognized Celtic gods and features one of the, why do they have gunstruck Kildrum, a giant silver vessel from the Iron Age. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to be fine. He is the lover of the Great Mother and impregnates the land so that it will be filled with life. He can help us from a connection with the animal spirits and ancestors of our land. Extended message. That was a short one. Extended message. There is a deep buildup of life force within you now and a need to channel it into action. Absolutely, I agree. This is for me. Hopefully it's for you too. You may have extra energy or become more alert than usual. I would say that's true. Or be aware of an increased sensual and sexual energy. If you have been unsure how this ties into your spiritual path, know that it can allow you to access the richness of your soul. Can I get an amen? Yeah, I'm there. I'm single, but I'm there. When we are not expressing ourselves sexually, spiritual potential can be tamed or muted. I agree with that, actually. So if you are denying yourself a desire, ask yourself, how can you fulfill it? Let's talk about this on Relationship Freedom Fridays. Asking us to help you access your sexual self so that you can express it with integrity. I agree with that as well. And in a way that honors your soul. Absolutely. Yeah, that's come up for me as late. I've been single for 5 months. If you and your partner don't have one, trying for a child, definitely not. I'm sterilized. And this card appears fertility is very possible, especially if Bridget Kernanos' twin flame is present too. So that's now, and if that's for you, then great. Robin says that's huge. Definitely do what you need to do to get ready. I should have just gone live a little bit later, and I was just like, do you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Although let's talk about that on Relationship Freedom Friday. Health Freedom Tuesday. What do you do for your spiritual practices, for your rituals and routines? I journal in my spiritual journal every single day, and usually we talk about health freedom on a Tuesday. And today, I'm not prepared. However, I've been up really early, and I've done 4 recordings already, so that's why my head's not in the zone. Of my actually what I've done to plan out my health as I take care of myself as I do this. So it's not that I was rushing or anything like that. I just got a text message which I needed to address, and it kind of threw me off because I'm committed to do the times. 4 recordings, yeah. I did 4 yesterday for the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge. So I've been doing recordings of the process and recordings of like the process of what I'm doing. So yeah, so that was quite a lot today, which it didn't feel like a lot, but my head just wasn't quite there. What I talk about on my spiritual vision board challenge, and this is from Abraham and Jerry and Esther Hicks, is segmenting. This is what I didn't get to do. So this is the thing. It's segment intending your day, meaning moving from one thing to the next with ease, grace, and flow, and setting the energy for it. So before the live, part of my spiritual rituals and routines that support me in my spiritual business success on the Soul Legacy TV, because that's what I'm about, right? Is setting the energy forth. So normally I would say my gratitude. Hopefully I've got my gratitude stone. I don't even think I have. Yeah, I have. I'd say my gratitude, and I'd express that. I'd hold my little crystal for the day today. It is Tiger's Eye, and I got some little crystals. So that's part of my spiritual rituals and routines on the Energy Healing TV and podcast. Robin talks about sacral chakra on a Tuesday. I've got my orange t-shirt on, and clearing energy, all the rest of it. So I would normally do that rather than spurting out something on a live. However, I'm human and I show up raw and real, and you get all of me. How about that? So that is what I would usually do. So Robin says Health Freedom Tuesday equals a 9. Okay, so my Health Freedom Tuesday equals a 10 for sure. No, not a 10, an 11. Oh, that popped out of my mouth, didn't it? 10? No, 11. Can I write it down today? 11. Healthy relationships might be 10 right this second, but a 10. So Robin, so if you're new to the Soul Legacy TV and you're new to the just journaling process with me, journaling for light work and lifestyle balance and having harmony in each area of your life, then you might not have rated yourself. So the rating is between 1 and 11. 1 being I'm in soul funk, like, oh, I feel horrible about my health, all of my health, my physical health, emotional health, mental health, social health, spiritual health, environmental health. I feel really good about my environmental health. And that's thrown me of, oh, okay, how healthy is my environment going to be with 2 young ladies in the house? That is the honest truth. So there's boundaries and different things that need to be said and had. So that's thrown me, because I'm definitely an 11. However, that might dip, but that's okay. You do what you need to do for soul family. So that's that. So you might not rate. So if you're in soul funk, soul flow and following your soul guidance and being connected to source is an 11. So yeah. Robin says 9. So what did you rate last week? If you did Health Freedom with me, did you rate last week? My Health Freedom was an 11 last week. What we do on the Soul Legacy TV to support your spiritual business success is have everything else in between of contributing out into the world and finances. So health, contribution freedoms on a Monday on the Soul Legacy TV. This is why I talk about every single day. We do our spiritual journal if you're new to me. And if you're not new to me and you're watching in the Soul Legacy Academy, then welcome. And if you're doing the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge with me and you are contributing and you're looking after your health, you will see that I've actually posted all the things that I do for my health. Health Freedom Tuesday, Emotional Freedom Wednesday, Environmental Freedom Thursday, Relationship Freedom Friday is why I said let's talk about that on Relationship Freedom Friday, Spiritual Freedom Saturday, and Financial Freedom Sunday. So the health of all of the areas of your life might feel like you've got a dip in some of them. Do you have healthy relationships? Do you have a healthy environment? Do you have that spiritual health, that spiritual energy? Do you have that mental health, emotional well-being? And if it's gone from an 11 and it's dipped, do you know why? So from last week to this week, why? And Robin, I don't know if you know what your rating was last week, because I know that sometimes you have your journal, sometimes you don't, or sometimes you might write it down and sometimes you don't. But it's really interesting to see, because at the end of the week we do a score of between 1 and 11 every day. So the top score that you could get is 77 for the week, where your vibration is, how high vibing you are in each area of your life. It's just a really quick indicator. And or it might be like 7. You know, if you're going for a dark night of the soul, some things might feel like a 7. Don't get 0, but do you know what? So Robin, do you know if Robin says boom to the far recordings? Robin says exactly, we show up authentically. Blurting. Robin says, I'm tracking this week's numbers. I don't have last week's handy. Okay, no worries. Thank you. So what you want to do, and Robin will do, is note that, because we've started the Bank 50K in 50 days. So if you do the Bank 50K in 50 days with me, what I want you to do is put yourself out there, grow your spiritual business online with your book and your podcast and getting featured and all of the things. And that takes quite a bit of energy. So you want to be really looking after yourself. I don't even know, like I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. You want to be putting out that energy, but you also want to be giving yourself energy, fueling yourself, eating right, sleeping right, drinking water, fueling your mind, fueling your body, so that you feel healthy when you're doing your work in the world. And the health of your household, all of the things really, really do matter. So as part of my spiritual journal, when we do the rating, we think of the vision of your health that you have for 1 year out, and then we work backwards and we put in the steps. Like I'm not a health expert, but I take care of my own health. You do your health, what works for you, right? I'm not giving you like medical advice or anything like that, but just looking after your health, rating your health, seeing where you're dipping, why you've dipped. So Robin, with that number, you don't have to put it on the live, obviously, and you can put it in the discussions in the Soul Legacy Academy or Buddy Up with the Soul Accountability Buddy. Like with that number, what came to mind to make it not be an 11 and make it be a 9? Not that a 9 is low, and whatever number it is, it doesn't matter. It's just where you're starting from and you want to improve for you or maintain for you, or if it dips, notice what it is. So as part of my vision board challenge is setting your health for a year and working backwards. The Atomic Habits book that I read yesterday or listened to yesterday will help you with that, putting the habits in place to take care of your health and take care of the health of your business, your life work and your lifestyle. But you want to see what you are doing or not doing that's supporting you. And so when your daily rituals and routines don't support your health, then it's like, oh, well, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But say if your daily routines and rituals are supporting you, so I want to run a half a marathon, I don't know exactly when, but if I'm running every other day, or I'm running like so many times a week, or I'm eating healthy and I'm doing the work towards it, I don't have to have run the half marathon to feel good about it, but I feel good because I'm actually working backwards and reverse engineering my goal. So I'm progressing. So is it that, and I'm releasing, I've got a weight releasing goal and I'm releasing that. And all of health feels really good for me. So it just feels good. Nothing has to actually change. We get to decide whether it feels good. So if you're looking in the visible world and you're dipping, what you want to do is step back, connect again with source, and look at the world through the soul lens and catch up any actions in your daily rituals and routines. And if there's any blocks, any clearing to do for your health, then Robin will support you in that. So, right, the quote that I normally read a quote for the day. And this quote was on my momentum app, as always. And if you haven't got the momentum app, it's going to help you have momentum in your business. I've been writing down my to-dos and different things, and I've been showing on this process how I actually use it to give me momentum and propel me forward, probably being more productive than a lot of people. But this quote, I'm like, I didn't get it, so maybe I'm not that wise. So it says, and I think I'm reading it wrong or something. Let me know what comes up for you. So it says, a little nonsense now, and then it's relished by the wisest people. That's a quote by Roald Dahl. I'm like, does it say nonsense? Or I'm like, no sense. But it says nonsense. I think I'm not very good at reading. I'm brilliant at reading. I've got a learn dyslexia. A little nonsense now, and then it's relished by the wisest people. Roald Dahl. I didn't get it. So thanks, Roald Dahl, but I didn't get it. Did you get it, Robin? I'm like, I don't get it. So anyway, on the Health Freedom Tuesday, we want to do gratitude. We want to be grateful. As part of the Seven Freedoms frequency, I say about being grateful for each area of your life, each of the seven freedoms. So we want to be grateful for how we contribute in the world. Excuse me. You want to be grateful for your health. If you think of emotional health, physical health, social health, spiritual health, environmental health, and mental health, if I said that twice, but also bringing in how you contribute, and that's family, if that's healthy, your light work and your lifestyle. Can you think of one thing as a spiritual journal prompt, one thing that you can be grateful for, whether it's past, present, or predicted future, like a thanks in advance? And I like to say, I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I appreciate. So when what came up in my mind and I got my text and it threw me, I would turn that around in terms of contribution and in terms of relationships. Is I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate that I can actually be there for a young lady who's not mine biologically, who has had a lot of adversity, who I can then support. So I'm really happy and grateful and appreciate that I can do that, because that's a blessing and an honor without being caught up in my humanness. I know that we've been brought together for a reason. And even when humanness stuff doesn't always look like it's swimming smoothly all of the time. Do you know what I mean? And to be a role model is an honor. And I said to my daughter, and she's like, well, home's home. And I raised my daughter. Do you know what I mean? So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate the opportunities to contribute in ways that I might not have planned, but I get to make a difference. Do you know what I mean? And I get to actually see the best version of me and create that space. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate something in my health. And the food that I eat, I'm just really blessed. I like to go to the basics for that, because we've been blessing our food. Robin was blessing her food. We've been blessing everything, blessing money, blessing healthy relationships with money, all of the things. Robin said, I missed the quote. Sorry, I had to step away for a second. Oh, really? Okay, hang on. Absolutely, our soul path isn't free of humanness. I know, right? So the quote was, I did wonder, I thought, is she there? So the quote was, a little nonsense now is, and And then, oh, wait a minute, a little nonsense now. I can't believe I have to read this again. I literally don't get it, scrambling my head. A little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest people. A little nonsense now and then is relished. And I wrote it down the right way. I'm like, and it's by Roald Dahl, but he was like kind of is like in his imagination. I'm like, well, it's a little nonsense, like a little craziness, chaos. And then I don't get it. I still don't. I'm not even going to pretend to get it. I'm not even going to pretend to be wise about it. I'm just not. Absolutely, our soul path isn't free of humanness. Thank you for that reminder. You're welcome. I hear you. I hear you. I love you. So yeah. So let's see. I'm happy and I'm grateful. If there's something coming up, if there's somebody in your environment, depending on what your day's been like, if it feels healthy, what have you, say I'm happy and grateful and I appreciate whatever the emotions that you feel. If you feel a little bit of a trigger, you know, what can you, like, is today when you woke up, when you got out of bed, did you feel joyful? Did you feel in self-funk or self-flow? Was that yesterday? When's the last time you felt like really ecstatic, like, yay, oh my gosh, da-da-da. As we go on the Bank 50K in 50 days, it's for me, I'll let that process to nonsense and relish. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's being grateful. So what can you think of that you're grateful in your environment, your relationship, and your spiritual and your finances? So the book that I read today or listened to today was, and we're going to wrap up with the vibrational money voucher. I said that this was going to be a short one because that's how I feel. And I haven't said, you know, you can share your spiritual awakening story, and I've got a masterclass and all the things. You probably heard me before, and if you haven't, I'll leave all the things in the description. Subscribe if you want to come back for health freedom, probably schedule away. Anyway, part of my spiritual journaling process and routine, I listened to a book, and this is what I was doing before I got the text. And I was noting what Louise Hay had said. And this is, I got my new notebook yesterday, so I got lots of room. But it was damaged in transit, before delivery, and I was like, but anyway. So you can heal your life. So Louise Hay was saying about when you're working on a certain area of your life, which we started the Bank 50K. I've started the Bank 50K in 50 days, and Robin's coming along this journey with me. So whenever you start, if you want to take me up on that challenge, then my masterclass will explain it, invite you in properly. She said, if you're going on a path and say you're working on prosperity, then things might look a little bit chaotic before they actually get better. Things might, like, you might be like, oh, well, why is everything going wrong? Or why is chaos unfolding? So you might be working on prosperity and then lose a wallet. Or you might be working on relationships, then have a fight. Like, what? You might be working on your health and then get a cold. You might be thinking about a job and then get fired, or working on your income or something. You might, Robin, you'll like this, because she says when you're working on things, you get a different level of understanding, like changing your paradigm, I suppose. Banking 50K in 50 days, kind of get it in. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually build the spiritual business model that affords that handles that in a healthy way. Leverage, and just go for it. That is all I want to say. So she said it's a process. And so say she uses the example of smoking. Obviously it's health freedom, so that was you can heal your life. So she's talking about you can heal all areas of your life, right? But smoking, she uses as an example Louise Hay, the late Louise Hay, amazing Louise Hay. And she says that smoking is like just merely a symptom, right? It's like we don't come out of the womb smoking, right? And we can use that smoking as a smoke screen. And I know you relate to this, Robin, because you've actually said it. And so we get, when we want to stop smoking, it's like releasing the need to smoke, releasing the need for a cigarette, and that can become uncomfortable. And so she says that when you release, if you stop smoking, you might notice that your relationships become uncomfortable, because the smoke screen of smoking, and I used to smoke 6 years ago, I stopped in August, you might notice that your relationships become uncomfortable because that smoking was covering it, was covering something else. And so she says, like, having the willingness, have you got the willingness? You ask yourself if you've got the willingness to release being uncomfortable, and the willingness to release the need for a cigarette first, the willingness to be to release that uncomfortable feeling. Then it might be that in a relationship or in the past or as a child that you found that you got criticized, and you might notice that people are criticizing you. Stop smoking, relationships that feel uncomfortable, now you're being criticized. Like, that's not good for your mental or your emotional health, is it? But you're thinking, well, I'm trying to be healthy, now other things are like going wrong. So she says you might think that people are criticizing you, but once you release the need to be criticized because you were criticized as a child, it's releasing the thing why you wanted to smoke in the first place. And that's kind of me paraphrasing and probably butchering it. But when you think of, oh, well, I don't know how, that puts more resistance. Instead, she says, buddy up with somebody, whatever this need is, buddy up with somebody and look in their eyes and say this statement. I'll share in a second, and really mean it, and ask them if they knew that you really meant it. And if you don't have a buddy, look in the mirror. And she says, I'm willing to forgive the need. I'm willing to forgive, right, at first, hang on. And she says, trust that inner guidance. What was the phrase? I now release the need to control, or something like that. I've written it down, but I've not read my writing very well. And basically the feeling of it that's come up, why you need to do it. So Robin, it doesn't even say you're on there. She hit that, didn't she? That release of uncomfortability. Yeah. So she says something like, I now release the need to, I'll have to have a look, to release this pattern, right? To now release whatever that is, that uncomfortable feeling, and release this pattern that causes this need, right? Basically something like that. But you sit in the mirror. So if you haven't listened to Louise here, this was the chapter on change. I think it was the chapter 7. And the chapter before it was the resistance to change. So when we're doing the Bank 50K in 50 days, when you're going on a quest to do anything and change anything, the point was that things might get uncomfortable until you control your mind and you say, hey, I'm in the driver's seat. She says your thoughts, which you'll love, Robin, obviously you do this, your thoughts and your feelings have energy, and buying into being pushed and pulled by your mind is just a tool. The thing that you've got control of is the thought that you're thinking now, and you can change that, basically. So as we go on the Bank 50K in 50 days challenge, you get to choose the thoughts about your health. You get to choose your relationship with money, right? You get to choose how healthy you be with how much you're receiving, and the prosperity and the abundance of what you're feeling your mind and your body with. And speaking about money, we have the vibrational money voucher that the Soul Legacy Journal, this is the quickest live I've ever done, I think, or close to it. The Soul Legacy Journal it's a magical journal. It gives you £1,000, dollars or euros every single day to spend on making memories, whether that's memories for your health, whether that's a spa day that comes to mind, whether it's for a massage, whether it's like a trip, whatever is on your spiritual vision board. If you haven't done the spiritual vision board challenge with me, I'll leave it in the cards in the descriptions, because spiritual business success for me means contributing in the world with my light work and my lifestyle, but balancing my lifestyle and having health, having health freedom, having emotional freedom, having environmental freedom, having relationship freedom, having spiritual freedom and financial freedom. I don't just want to do my work in the world and then ignore all areas of my life. So spend your vibrational money voucher. If you're at a point in your spiritual business where you're not banking 50K in 50 days and you want to spend that extra money, then go ahead and do it. But you have to go out there and actually search for the things and actually physically buy them, pretend to buy them, vibrationally buy them, not physically, vibrationally buy them, and note the price, note the cost, and build your relationship with money. And that'll filter in every area of your life and your business. Definitely, because everything is energy. And when you're blocked, if you're blocked about money, blocks your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, your social, all of the things, and spiritual energy, like you're clogged. So the vibrational money voucher has a couple of rules. First one, you don't get to spend the vibrational money voucher that the Soul Legacy Journal gives you on bills. You want to come from the space that your bills are already covered. And then the next thing is to tithe 10% to a worthy cause. The Robin says I'm making a list for Sunday's shopping spree. Yay! Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you can tithe 10% to a worthy cause. My worthy cause is Cruise bereavement care, and I'm going to write that down in my journal because I hadn't today. So I tithe 10%. It's £100 to Cruise bereavement care. I know the page. I dedicate my work to my son. I'm just going to write the money voucher because I want to complete my spiritual journal as well. So Cruise bereavement care, my son made his transition 7 years ago, which I can't even believe that I'm even of sound mind to be able to be speaking to you. So I do walk my talk, I do my inner work, and I can say that I can be happy and healthy, right? And I can fuel my mind and fuel my body, and I know that my soul is here to express all of the things as I've gone through my dark night of the soul to actually be here in a healthy way. So I dedicate that for Darnell, in memory of Darnell. So that's £100, and then I have 900 to carry over to the next day. What I tend to do is not spend it every single day. I want to spend a chunk of money. As Robin said, she's making a list for her Sunday shopping spree. So welcome if you're on here. I don't know if that's Jennifer, say hi. And you don't have to type in hi, but hi. And if it's somebody else, then let me know who you are. And hopefully you've enjoyed Health Freedom Tuesday. I am wrapping up because like I was a little bit thrown off. We're getting on here. But so the vibrational money voucher, spend it. I will spend my vibrational money with you on Sunday. Just because it felt like a chore to me to do it every single day. Like I want to spend this money. But on Sunday, and as we do the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, part of that is to see how much money you've coming in the physical, visible world, and how much money is going out. So you're managing your finances. And then for the vibrational, how much is going in and how much is going out. So even though you're managing your finances for your spiritual business and your light work and your lifestyle, you want to marry that with the energy of like, I still get to spend, even if your bank account is saying 0 or minus or whatever, or you've got whatever it is. But we want to get clear on our energy with money. And if you've got any money blocks and any money stories, Robin Knott of the Energy Healing TV and podcast has a 5-day money blocks clearing challenge. And Robin calls it a self-love journey to financial freedom, because it is taking care of ourselves, taking care of our money, taking care of our health. All the things really do matter. So subscribe to Robin's Energy Healing TV podcast. If you haven't already, Robin does an energy healing lifestyle daily vlog as well. Robin says, I love watching you walk your talk. You're such an inspiration for many of us. Thank you for being you. Oh, thank you, love. You're welcome. Robin says, thank you for the shout out. Yeah, I'm just like being me. I think to just wrap this episode up, and it's Health Freedom Tuesday. So thank you for saying that, Robin. The health and the state of the world doesn't always feel like a super healthy place to be, right? And a safe place to be, especially when you're empathic, right? And you've got this real big vision to, we're here as light workers, strategically placed around the planet to come back together as a collective energy, by the way, and support each other in raising the vibration of the planet. So it's healthy, and we're happy, and more people are happy and healthy and feel whole and experience this. But it doesn't always work out like that. There's many experiences that don't feel healthy and don't feel happy and don't feel vibrant. However, I have created this because this is the vibration that I wanted to witness in the world. Instead of pointing out there, I turned into myself. And people say, I'm doing the inner work, but then they don't do the outer work. And I definitely do believe that we have to move forward regardless and keep going with that change and direct our own minds, our own thoughts, our own feelings, and our own energy, be accountable for our own. And then when we figure this out, we get to then, we've taken that soul path of least resistance, and then we get to serve, we get to show up, speak out, and serve deep in a raw and authentic way. There's too many people like being fake, and like I say, soul guided influencers, because why would you be anything other than guided by your soul? Why would you be anything other than authentic or walking your talk? Like, why are there so many people out there saying, do this, do that, you should do this, you should, and they're not doing it themselves because it doesn't actually even work. It's misguiding people and it's not healthy, doesn't make us happy. So the more people that I can support with the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network to show up, speak out, and serve deep in a raw and authentic way, then my calling and my soul, I'm a happy camper. Robin says truth, and then she says it starts with us. Absolutely. Inflow and outflow. And sometimes we get so fearful that we feel like a fraud because we don't feel healthy. We don't feel that, we don't have that emotional well-being, we don't have that mental well-being. But whatever you've gone through in your spiritual awakening, this is your spiritual awakening story. It is there to serve someone. Go within and know, like, grief is not sexy. Like, listen, I was on the floor. Like, it's not fun. Do you know what I mean? It's not fun. But launching, leading, and leaving my soul legacy is important to me. And so as I started this episode, it's like, okay, my soul daughter, and I do believe she's my soul daughter. She's come into my life. She's had losses. And I know that she won't mind me saying, but her mama passed when she was 1. And then her auntie who raised her isn't here anymore. So they've done whatever they needed to do to bring her into my life. And I take that responsibility seriously. Do you know what I mean? And to show her what happy and healthy relationships are and what emotional health is and emotional well-being is important to me. So, you know, all humanness aside, gathering my thoughts and gathering my energy, because that's what we do, it's super important to me. So I would love to have you share your spiritual awakening story or multiple with me. I have the co-author book series on spiritual awakening, and I also have the #1 spiritual awakening annual YouTube summit, where spiritual YouTubers will be sharing their spiritual awakening story. And I'm really looking forward to having those conversations, because the dark night of the soul is rude. Like, it's just rude. It's just, but we don't go through that darkness without, you know, reason, good reason. Without that light really shining through, that darkness is just blocking that light, right? So there's a lot to be said for going through the dark night of the soul and normalizing that is just the experience of the soul expansion, and it begins with each and every one of us. So I invite you to do the work. I've loved this episode, sharing with you raw and real. I shall see you on the next episode. Subscribe to the channel again. Have a look in the comments in the description for my masterclass, for my free chapter, and for my free VIP day as well to support you. Rowan says the dark night of the soul is definitely rude. It's just rude. It's the only thing I can say. I love you very much. Thank you so much, Robin, for being on here with me. Thank you for being on here with me, Jennifer, if that is you. And I shall see you on the next episode for Emotional Freedom Wednesday. Definitely come back for Health Freedom. I want to know what your rating is for your health, and set the intention for it to be great. Have a great week for your health. Look after yourself, fuel your body, drink your water, look after your emotional health, your mental health, clear anything that's not supporting it, and let's go for a high vibe week. I'll speak to you soon. Big love. Take care.